All right, team. We're back in action after a weeks-long disaster with everything that could possibly break down. You know, it's part of the game, so we have to deal with it. The Yukon will be back in action hopefully by the end of next week. Not this week, but the next week. So looking forward to it. All right, as far as what we're going to be doing this coming week on guide trips, I just wanted to bring you up to speed. Now that we've gotten this cold weather out of the way, everything should start to warm up. And there's going to be another round of fish that move up close to the bank and spawn again, especially on the April 12th full moon. So one of the number one things we're going to be throwing and covering a lot of wood, a lot of bank, a lot of line is the swim jig. Swim jig's a great player. This is a 1/4 ounce, has watermelon red trailer, which I'm going to dye slightly chartreuse. And that is going to be one of our top plays coming up here this week. Now, this branches out even further into all kinds of plays. We will throw chatterbaits this week, white chatterbaits, because as this water warms over the next couple of weeks, shad are really going to get active. And when the shad spawn kicks in, this is a great bait, especially running down bank lines, especially where you see birds. So that's a good cue to throw a chatterbait. Now, well, also, I need that water temp over 65 degrees, 63 degrees, but I think it is getting extremely close for what? The old frog. So we're going to be looking for a lot of spots to throw this frog in, and that bone color frog really does well. So Toad Thumper Lures puts out a great frog, so you might give it a look. All right, next on the agenda, can't do without the old wily swim bait. We'll be throwing skinny dippers and little dippers also, because you know what, that bank vegetation is going to be flooded, and we want to get something up in that junk, and those fish will be buried up in it. When water rises, those fish will just pull to the bank. So excellent bait, little dipper or a full-size skinny dipper. Now, there'll still be some beds available, and even in some of the beds, we'll put in some white baits, put in a swim bait, put in whatever the case. But you know what? We have caught the majority, a lot of these big bedfish that we've caught on just a regular wacky Cinco. Just make it a brim color, make it a natural color, and it's going to be a feel orientation. So when something swats on it, it's going to be a feel bite. So just always keep a tight line, use the tip of the rod to feel everything that goes on. We'll also be using this, what we call a miniature Carolina rig. We have our name for it here, but you can see the weight up there. It's just a miniature Carolina rig with either a fluke or a baby brush hog. Either or. I prefer the fluke in a lot of ways, but we did catch a lot of these on watermelon red here recently. So that's going to be a big player also this week for my clients. Now, we rotate through a lot of these different patterns in order to come up with what's going to be the best. Just a standard Texas weight Cinco, weightless, and put the tail spinner on there for a little extra flash, and it does carry a lot of weight and getting extra bites. So those are some of the top baits. We'll even throw, let me bring this one up here, into that heavy junk. We'll throw some Texas rigs, creature baits, right up in the junk, and reel it, just work it off to the side and let it fall off the side of the vegetation. So these are going to be the plays that I'm going to do this week, and you know what? I think it's going to turn out. We're heading towards warming trends. Everything, fish are going to move back up. All this cold is gone, I hope, and I think this is going to turn out to be a pretty awesome spring. So get to work, check it out, catch some big fish. See you later.